G'day guys, Hector back again. This time I'm bringing you a quick little tutorial on the Robird G31, installing on the fly-barless head. First thing I want to cover is jumping into the, because I'm using this with a 9x, I want to cover er9x and a basic model for the fly-barless unit. So we'll jump into that. The quickest and easiest way to do that is to, well, if you've got EEPE, obviously that's nice and simple. Of course you can replicate all of this on your transmitter yourself. Easiest way of course is just to make a new model, and we'll go into heli setup and we'll apply that template, yes, to clearing all the mixes and curves. And first thing you want to do is go back to heli setup and turn the swatch type off, and we'll leave this collective at channel 11 for now, but we'll come back to that. It'll all make sense soon. Okay, so the fly-barless unit wants a standard 4-channel model, but with a few differences. So first we'll just delete these mixes for the cyclic, and we'll create an elevator, and we'll create the ailerons. Okay. Now, the latest version with the templates, it defaults to channel 5 for your throttle. Now this is all just, this is up to you. I mean, I like to have my throttle on channel 3, so I'll cut that off and we'll paste everything from channel 5 into channel 3. Okay, so then we've got the throttle on channel 3, and I'll actually delete that. That's the throttle hold, but I like to have a sticky throttle hold, and that'll apply that to channel 3 for you, and the switches and whatnot. So we're nearly there. We want rudder. We'll delete the gyro for now. Okay, so we've got rudder on channel 4. We need our rudder gain, because I'm going to go with a pulse width modulation setup. So we've got rudder. So channel 5, I like to have mine just set up on the potentiometer here, which is pot 2, and we'll have a weight of -50, offset 100, and the gear switch, which is this one here. That's just personal preference. Okay, and then we'll add another mix in, and this one's going to be 50%, 100% offset, and when gear is on. So that way when I'm flicking the switch back and forth, it's switching between rate mode and heading hold. Okay, now the last thing we need to do for our model in er9x is our collective, because the G31 needs a pitch channel showing where our collective's at, and so I like to set that up as channel 6. So we'll just cut this out. Ooh. Okay, so then we've got our collective on channel 6 and our throttle, and everything's all set up correctly to go to the G31. Also with this setup, you've got your throttle curves. 1, 2 and 3 are your throttle curves. So I've got a linear throttle curve here at curve 1, well, mostly linear. Curve 2 is sort of more of an idle up sort of thing. Same with curve 3, and then 4, 5 and 6 are your pitch. So 4 is just standard, which is giving me about -1 negative, sort of 1 negative pitch, and then we've got full 12 to 12, or a full linear pitch curve, 5 and 6, which is operated, if we look at back at our mixing on channel 6, it's set up for the throttle and the collective on idle 0, 1 and 2. So that way we can switch between different throttle curves and pitch curves. For the purposes of setting up the G31, you want a linear throttle curve and a linear pitch curve. Oh well, at least a linear pitch curve, a linear collective channel. That way, you need that to set the fly balance up, and then once you set it all up, you can set your channels back to standard to have -1 degree there on normal modes, and then your full 12 to 12 or whatever your ranges are. But that's pretty well it. You can, and then it's all set up right to go. So we've got down here on channel 6 going full. We're in idle. We'll go to idle 1. And we've got full 100 to -100 in the collective channel, and every other channel's going right to full -100 to +100 for ailerons and elevator and rudder. They're all set up correctly, so you can save that, and if you're doing it in your model, in your transmitter, it's obviously already saved. And then we can move over to the G31. Now, I'm sure you've already watched the 28 videos, or however 18 videos there were by Sky Hobbies for the G31 setup, but there are a couple of little things that they sort of leave out that probably should be spoken about. First thing you want to do when you've set up when you're setting up your helicopter, you've attached your G31 to your helicopter, you've made your connection from your receiver to the 5 wireless unit. Don't plug in your servos yet. Leave them unplugged. Just have the connection well, exactly how it is on this screen here. You want to have this connection up. You don't want to plug in your rudder servo or your cyclic servos. You want to just leave them unplugged for now. And also, while we're here, unplug the motor. It's pretty important. And from there you're right to go. Turn on your transmitter first, of course. Make sure you're on your fly barless model, which I am. And we're right to plug in power. G31's initialized. Actually, we'll bring it back around this way. And then we can plug her in. Actually, I'll just get out of that. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do before you plug in any of your cyclic servos or your tail servo is power up, unplug your motor, power up, plug in USB lead for your G31. Oop. Not sure what happened there. Get this installed. Okay, now we can start up our Robird software. Okay, so it's picked up that we're connected. We'll go setup guide. Okay, so the very first thing that you want to do once you're all set up is make sure that all of your, over here is your raw input display. Now we want to make sure that all of these are showing 100 for every possible channel. Now what you need to do in your radio is go to your endpoints, which is easier to just show you here. Your endpoints are in er9x are min and max, and offset subtrim, which you'd never touch for a fly barless unit, but your min and max are your endpoints. Now if I can show you on here, it could be terribly hard to see. It probably is. I'm probably just showing you garbage, but my endpoints are set up as such so that regardless of stick input here, I'm all getting roughly, well, I'm trying to make it exactly 100% even throws in the raw input. Once you've got your endpoint set up, you can then click on to next and set up your servos. Obviously don't have your servos plugged in yet, but this is where you need to set up your refresh rate and whatnot. For my servos, I'm running DS 515Ms, so I'm going to pick 250, thinking that's probably the closest. And my tail servo is a DS525, and it runs a 1.5 millisecond, 333 Hertz. So that once that's all set up, and obviously if you're using the governor and all that for the ESC, depending on your ESC, I'm just using my my throttle motor set up all through the receiver, so it's not actually going through the fly barless. So, but just leave that at analog. Then you can save, and at that point you can disconnect, and you can plug in all your cyclic servos and your tail servo, and reinitiate and come back again. And then you can move on to your swash type. Now this is all just standard stuff, so I mean, if you've watched the videos, I shouldn't really need to show you this, but just pick your swash type, servo direction, that's going up. Shouldn't have blades on here doing this. The only thing I need to point out here in collective pitch, what you want to do is make sure you've got your linear pitch curve, get to a mid stick, or just at a flat 50 or a 0 pitch curve, and make sure all your servo horns are on exactly perpendicular, 90 degrees to the helicopter. Get them as close as possible. If you can't get them exactly on, this is where this part up here, subtrim, comes in handy up here. That's essentially, instead of doing subtrimming your radio, that's where you do it up here for your 3 cyclic servos. you'll notice I've got 20 points of sub-trim here on the right servo. Probably just laziness. I probably should have just popped the horn up because neither of the other servos required it. But in either case, if you do need it, that's where you do it. And then yeah, then you can pop your blades back on as well. I mean, if you haven't already from before, and set up put your pitch gauge on, of course, and set up your max and min as per the instructional videos. That's all. Nothing different there. Then of course your 8 degrees of cyclic pitch happens here. Your sticks don't do anything here. They set it to where they want 8 degrees, and so you just got to try and match it up to 8 degrees, which I've done. I've got 89.8, and that gives me perfect 8 degrees of cyclic pitch. This is all pretty self-explanatory and is explained in the tutorial videos. Now here, this is where it helps to read the menu, of course, but because they do explain this fairly well. They tell you to go full pitch, and then full elevator, then full left aileron, and then adjust the right, the top right over here, and then do left, right stick, and then adjust the left. And it's a little complicated, but I actually didn't require any. I don't have any binding in my setup anywhere, so that's good for me. But if you do, just make sure you read the manual. Now actually, we're missing one thing that I wanted to show you. That's right. Of course, back here in collective pitch, it's not explained in the video, so I probably should explain it. After you've got your swash level, after you've got your swash level and any sub trim that you need in, and you've done your max and minimum pitch, it's not told in the video, but it's then advised that you take your head off again and put your swash leveling tool back on, and just check your max and your min collective, and then just adjust the pitch elevator level and the pitch aileron levels. The elevator will just set the swash up and down, like forward and backwards, and the ailerons sort of side to side. And it's how to make sure you get you got like a level swash at maximum, and a level swash at minimum. Nice and simple. So then we get the last tab there, of course, is your limits, and that's all explained, and so is your cyclic, your swash limits and whatnot. But just a couple of little things there that aren't sort of explained in the tutorial videos. Just mainly making sure that you get a level swash at mid stick. Make sure your servo horns are 90 degrees, and that you got a level swash at max and minimum, and you should be right to go. Now I'm going to take it outside when we can for its first test hover, and should all be good and ready to go. See you then. G'day guys, Hector back again. I just finished doing a DFC flybarless conversion on my 500. Excuse my French, I'm running the 500 DFC flybarless head from Hobby King. Of course, I'm running line shafts and take every single bit apart and Loctite it. we've got the new Robird G31 running DS515s on the cyclics and DS525 on the tail, line tail unit. As the Hobby King helicopter, I don't know what they are, the Heli Series 500 motor there, and the Way EP 100 amp PSC. At the moment I'm running just the PWM receiver connection for the Robird, but I maybe will one day move over to the dual satellite connection when I go to a DXX or something like that. But yeah, this is going to be the first hover, I suppose a maiden flight or a maiden hover of the flybarless unit and the DFC head on the 500. So here we go. I'll pop this down and we're going to go for a fly. I am shitting myself. Flybarless and DFC, first time, so here we go. Whoosh it. Here we go. Oh wow, that is nice. Wow. There you have it, guys. DFC flybarless conversion, Robird G31 was exceptionally smooth. That's the first time I've hovered it, and there was just like, it's left on the default gains for LE and aileron, and oh my god, that was just so smooth, like ridiculously. No jittering like I was expecting, I don't know, something, but man, that was nice. There's obviously going to be a bit of tweaking to be had, but hey, that was pretty damn good. Impressed. Yeah. Right, see you later, guys. I've had fun.